guys? My name is Lulu and these are my books. Today we're filming a video. Obviously. This video specifically is going to be my next year's TBR. This is interesting because this isn't going to be like set. However, these are books that I want to get through next year. So I think this is what's going to happen. At the beginning of this year, I had like a little set TBR thing because I had a goal in mind of how many books I wanted to read for my Goodreads year thing. However, this time I didn't really have much of a goal, really. I just want to add more variety into my reading life, you know? And that's what this, I think, accomplishes, you know? So we're gonna get into it. There are a substantial amount of books next to me, and you know, several of them are series. So this is going to be, I'll give you a final count at the end, but like, this is a lot. This is gonna be a lot, I can tell, but I'm committed. I'm prepared. Okay, so we're gonna start off from the top. Oh god, it's shaking. Okay, literally, like, I put my hand on top of the book stack. This is how tall it is. Anyways, so let's start off with the first book, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. So I wanted to get through this series because I've heard some really amazing things about it, but also, regarding the Poppy War trilogy, this is very historically based, like in like Chinese, like mythos and history and stuff like that. And so I've really been very like interested in getting more into that because, you know, I've been watching Chinese dramas for like the past year. So yeah, this is what I want to get into. I'm really, really excited for this. If you don't know what the Poppy War trilogy is about, I'm just going to read the little inner flap for all of these if you don't know what these are about, and you can decide whether you want to pick these up or not. I've decided I am, which is why they're on my TBR, but I'm just going to read all of the little like flaps to you guys and you guys can decide. Okay, so regarding the Poppy War, I'm just gonna hold it like this. She is a peasant, she is a student, she is a soldier, she is a goddess. When Rin aced the Keiju, the empire-wide test to find the most talented youth to study at the academies, it was a shock to everyone. To the test officials who couldn't believe a war orphan from the Rooster Province could pass without cheating. To Rin's guardians, who always thought they'd be able to marry Rin off to further their criminal enterprise. And to Rin herself, who realized she was now finally free of the servitude and despair that had made up her daily existence. That she got into Seingard, the most elite military school in the Nikata Empire, was even more surprising. But surprises aren't always good. Being a dark-skinned peasant girl from the south is not an easy thing at Seingard. Rin is targeted from the outset by rival classmates because of her color, poverty, and gender. Driven to desperation, she discovers she possesses a lethal, unearthly power, an aptitude for the nearly mythical art of shamanism. Exploring the depths of her gift with the help of a seemingly insane teacher and psychoactive substances, Rin learns that gods long thought dead are very much alive, and that mastering control over her powers could mean more than just surviving the school. For even though the Nikara Empire is at peace, the Federation of Mugen still lurks across a narrow sea. The militarily advanced Federation occupied the Nikara Empire for decades after the First Poppy War, and only barely lost the continent in the Second. And while most people in the Empire would rather forget their painful history, a few are aware that a third Poppy War is just a spark away. Rin's shamanic powers may be the only way to save her people. But as she finds out more about the god who has chosen her, the vengeful Phoenix, she fears that winning the war may cost her humanity, and it might already be too late. So yeah, you know why I want to read this. Yeah. So this is going to be a really interesting take, and also I've heard a really, really good things about R.F. Kuang's writing. So yeah, this is where we're starting. I mean, obviously not starting, but like, this is just one of these. This is one of the series that I want to get through. So that's 3 books, right? next book, next series thing I want to read is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. These are the Illumicrate editions I have, you know, see? These were the first ever special editions that I bought for myself, and I do love them dearly. So I officially decided I want to read these. See, here's the thing. This book, I've had for a good bit, and I've heard some pretty amazing things about it. I've heard really good things about Hafsa Faizal's writing, and also like whole, what would I say about it? Like the vibe of this is also just really interesting, especially since I also have The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. So yeah, but I really wanted to read this book because it just sounded really interesting, and also I've had this on my shelves for a while, so I thought, you know, it might be time to read it. So let me read to you the little flat. People lived because she killed. People died because he lived. Zafira is the hunter, forced to disguise herself as a man. She risks everything to provide for her people. Nasir is the Prince of Death, a feared assassin who is forever bound to the command of his father, the Sultan. Both are legends in their kingdom, and neither wants to be. And when Zafira embarks on a dangerous quest to return magic to their suffering land, Nasir is sent on a similar mission. But as their journey unfolds, an ancient evil begins to stir, and the prize they seek may pose a threat greater than either can imagine. Really interesting. Obviously, it's not as long as the Poppy War description. However, this book is relatively thick, and I've heard that the pacing, even though this is considered YA, the pacing is more of like an adult book, which I'm also really excited about because I found that the pacing for adult fantasy books really works well for me. But then again, I haven't read much YA this year. So, let's see. Okay. Okay, this is going to be the first, like, not fantasy, okay? And I told you, I wanted to diversify my reading this year. So, we have If I Have to Be Haunted by Miranda Sun. This is the Fairy Loot edition this is the book for the month of September, I believe. And it's a gorgeous book. So this is a romance. This is a YA romance. We understand where this is going. Okay, so I am not a romance fan. We know this. This is so blatantly obvious. However, the reason I wanted to read this is because it's not that I've heard good things about it. I actually haven't even looked anything up on this. However, I have this book, and it would be pointless to keep it on my shelves if I'm not going to like it. I went through a lot of links to actually get a copy of this because I didn't get my September box because I had, like, skipped that month. But I just want to read this book. And also, it's also really, really pretty. So, yeah. Yeah, this is what we're doing. If you don't know what this book is about, allow me to read to you. Oh, it's so pretty. I love this book. Okay, it would be so sad if I didn't like this. Like, so sad. My God. Anyways. Okay. How am I? I just hope I don't bend the dust jacket in any way. Okay. Kara's just trying to stay on top of all her classes, excel at her extracurriculars, and prepare for college, which means not speaking to the dead, an ability she inherited from her grandmother. Ghosts are trouble, and Kara doesn't need to add their problems to her own. But then she stumbles upon the body of Zach, the super popular but very newly dead high school golden boy, in the woods. And guess what? He wants her to resurrect him. Cue trouble. Honestly, that feels like the most Gen Z thing I've ever heard. But honestly, I'm kind of, like, vibing with it. And also, it's not very long, so I think this should be pretty good. I really do vibe with, like, how short and sweet and to the point that description is. I really do. So, yeah. Let's go in for it. Really excited for that. And then the next book, this one's more fantasy, and it's, like, more of a romantasy. Shanghai Immortal by A.Y. Chow. So this was from the adult version of Fairy Loot. And it is And this book, I also went to like decently great lengths to get because I bought it off a reseller from Macari. Just because I really wanted this book. So yeah. I wanted to read this book because, again, I'm trying to diversify my reading taste, and also I want to get more, again, this is something I've been saying a lot of, but there are a lot of, like, Asian fantasy slash East Asian, like, fantasy mythos kind of worth things that I've really wanted to be reading, and so I thought this would be a really good one because I have, like, several YAs in here, so breaking it up with some adult would be pretty good. But yeah, let's go into this. I barely remember how this reads. So I'll just read it to you. Half vampire, half fox spirit, all trouble. Pawned by her mother to the king of hell as a child, Lady Jing is a half vampire, half Huli Jing fox spirit, and all sasshole. At the king's ward, she has spent the past 90 years running errands and dodging the taunts of the spiteful Huli Jing courtiers and trying to control her explosive temper with varying levels of success. So when Jing overhears the courtiers planning to steal a priceless dragon pearl from the king, she seizes her chance to expose them once and for all. With the help of a gentle mortal tasked with setting up the central bank of hell, Jing embarks on a wild chase for intel, as first through hell and then mortal Shanghai. But when hijinks put the mortal in danger, she must decide which is more important, avenging her loss of face or letting go of her half-empty approach to life for the chance to experience tenderness and maybe even love. Yeah, this is also historical fantasy as well, so I'm really excited for that. And also this book's just really pretty. I have a lot of pretty books. I do. And there's a reason for that. I should probably make a video on that. Anyways, next book is also Asian fantasy, YA. We have Jade Fire Gold by June Sealed Han. So this is obviously the Fairy Loot edition. I bought this one for myself for my birthday. And you know, I've been meaning to read this book for a long ass time, actually. Like a long ass time. And so yeah, but also I wanted to read this book, but also I hated like the OG edition of this book, so I bought this. And I love it a lot more. It's a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be, but I'm not mad about it. I really am not. Let me read to you Little Flip. In an empire on the brink of war, honors no one, with no past and no family. Altan is a lost heir, his future stolen away as a child. When they meet, Altan sees On a path to reclaiming the throne. On sees a way to finally unlock her past and understand her lethal magical abilities, but they may have to pay a far deadlier price than either could have imagined. Yes, so obviously, and I've also heard like decently good things about this, and I've also read the little like sample they have on Kindle Unlimited, because I do that with a lot of books, and it was really good. It was pretty good, I will say that. Also, there's supposed to be like a slow burn romance in there, which, let's talk about this right now. Slow burn is an interesting word for things. It's very interesting because a lot of people advertise their books as slow burn when they're not really slow burn, and that bothers me because it's literally like, it takes them, it's like they think 50 pages is slow burn. No, bothers me. So I'm wondering how that's going to go. Next book is a series that I need to finish. I'm literally one book away from the ending. I literally only have one book left, but here's the thing. I tried reading that last book, didn't understand shit. So I have to reread this entire series, which I'm honestly not exactly mad about. An Ember in the Ashes by Sabatir. So let's get this out of the way. I personally have reread this book twice. This is going to be the third time I'm reading this book. And honestly, I'm actually not entirely mad about it. Granted, the start of this book does start off really slowly because it's starting off like it's like setting up shit. It's setting up a lot, and there's stuff that needs to be like, you know, set up. You know, it starts off really slowly, but then things pick up at a frenetic pace, and I'm really here for it. So yeah, the only thing I'm not really too excited about is the fact that this is the fact that this book has a lot of brutality in it. And I know that because it's based off of the Roman Empire, but like still, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to reread these books and finally finish this damn series. My God. Okay. All right, let's go. Laya is a soldier. What? No. Laya's not. Sorry, I'm losing it. Anyways, Laya is a slave. Elias is a soldier. Neither is free. Under the Martial Empire, defiance is met with death. Laya and her family do not challenge the Empire. They've seen what happens to those who do. But when Laya's brother is arrested for treason, she is forced to make a decision in exchange for help from rebels who promise to rescue her brother. She will risk her life to spy for them within the Empire's greatest military academy. There, Laya meets Elias, the school's finest soldier, and secretly its most unwilling. He and Laya will soon realize that their destinies are intertwined, and that their choices will change the fate of the Empire itself. And truly, now that I have read to book 3, I know what happens, and like that does make a lot more sense now. You know that moment where you're reading shit? Well, okay, so this is going way off topic, but I recently restarted playing Persona 5 Royal. If you've never played this game, it's a JRPG. It has like 4 other games before it, but this one is completely different. The game starts off dark. But I've played the game through once before, and running through this game now, going through this game now with everything that I know, all the foreshadowing is there. All of the little tidbits of what's going to happen have been planted. And you know what? That amount of foreshadowing is always so great. I love that amount of detail in writing, and it doesn't even have to be books for games like that. It's just like wild, man. Wild. Anyways, back to books. The next book series thing that I want to get through, Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. So I was really mad. I was really, really mad that Jessa Hastings discontinued the OG covers of these books. I was like, oh, I'll get them eventually. Whatever, no biggie. And then she changed the covers to this. This is disrespectful. Disrespectful. So I went on Waterstones because miraculously you can still buy the OG editions in the UK. So I bought them from Waterstones. That's what I did. I bought the Magnolia Parks books from Waterstones. So that's what I did. You know, all of that. And so yeah, I want to get through the Magnolia Parks books. And what's interesting to me is that the 2 Magnolia Parks books are the longest in the Magnolia Parks series, which makes sense. But Daisy Hates, those 2 books, those are actually pretty short, which is honestly kind of interesting to me. Also, this is going to be a completely deviation from what I normally read, because this is like toxic romance. It doesn't border on dark romance, because dark romance is a completely different beast, but this is toxic romance. And let me tell you, when I say I read the first chapter of this book and I was already for it, you better believe. My God. So yeah, let me read to you, because the description of the book is actually in here and not on the back. Let me read to you the little description thing. She is a beautiful, affluent, self-involved, and mildly neurotic London socialite. He is Britain's most photographed bad boy who broke her heart. Magnolia Parks and B.J. Ballantyne are meant to be, and everyone knows it. She dates other people to keep him at bay. He sleeps with other girls to get back at her for it. But at the end of their every sad encounter to get over one another, it's still each other that they crawl back to. Only now their dysfunction is catching up with them, pulling at their seams and fraying the world they've built. A world where neither has ever let the other go completely. As the cracks start to show and secrets begin to surface, Magnolia and BJ are finally forced to face the formidable question they've been avoiding their entire lives. How many loves do you really get in a lifetime? Really excited. Really excited for this series. Oh! Look at this. There's a text conversation in here, and like at the top it says Lil Valentine. That's actually so cute. Anyways, why am I fangirling over a book I haven't read yet? My God. Okay. Anyways, next book you've probably seen, and I haven't talked about it much because I haven't really. Crescent City, by Sarah J. Maas. I want to read all the Crescent City books that are coming out because I have pre-ordered House of Flame and Shadow, and that's coming in soon eventually. I've pre-ordered that. So I need to get my ass on reading Crescent City. I really do. I truly, genuinely do. And ooh, I forgot how pretty these end papers were. Anyways, I really need to get into this. Also, I need to just get back into my Sarah J. Maas kick, and I think have new Sarah J. Maas material would be good. I've avoided spoilers thus far. However, what I've realized is that Miss Sarah Janet has created an entire cinematic universe type thing with all of her books. And apparently Nesta, apparently Aelin and like some characters from ACOTAR show up in Crescent City. So I'm like, I gotta get there eventually, you know? Okay. So let me read to you the little description. If you haven't read this book, you'd be with me in the camp of have you been sleeping under a rock? So yeah, let's read this. Bound by blood, tempted by desire, unleashed by destiny. Bryce Quinlan had the perfect life, working hard all day and partying all night until a demon murdered her closest friends, leaving her bereft, wounded, and alone. When the accused is behind bars, but the crimes start up again, Bryce finds herself at the heart of the investigation. She'll do whatever it takes to avenge their deaths. Hunt Athalar is a notorious fallen angel, now enslaved to the archangels he once attempted to overthrow. His brutal skills and incredible strength have been set to one purpose: to assassinate his boss's enemies, no questions asked. But with the demon wreaking havoc in the city, he's offered an irresistible deal. Help Bryce find the murderer, and his freedom will be within reach. As Bryce and Hunt dig deep into Crescent City's underbelly, they discover the dark power that threatens everything and everyone they hold dear. And they find in each other a blazing passion, one that could set them both free, if they'd only let it. So here for it. Sarah J. Maas was one of my gateway authors, so like reading this new material from her will be amazing for me. Honestly, I'm so here for it. All right, next book. We're back into the Asian fantasy type thing with She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. So I want to read the Radiant Emperor duology. I'm not going to let this sit on my shelves. I've also, something that I've noticed about this book though, is that a lot of people tend to are just not fans of it, which I think is an interesting kind of like dichotomy, I think, because I was really here for it. When I read the little sample on Kindle Unlimited, I was really excited for it, which is why I bought the Broken Binding editions, because beautiful, obviously. So yeah, that's what I did. And so yeah, but God. So yeah, again, historical Asian fantasy, adult, kind of. Maybe it's adult. I'm not sure if it's adult or not, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, this is where we're going. Also, the bookmark. Anyways, let me read to you the little blurb. Can she outwit her destiny and rise as high as she can dream? In a famine-stricken village on a dusty yellow plain, a seer shows two children their fates. For the boy, greatness. For the girl, nothingness. In 1345, China lies under harsh Mongol rule. For the starving peasants of the Central Plains, greatness is only found in stories. The Zhu family is mystified as to how Zhu Chongba, their eighth-born son, will achieve his lofty future. But for a daughter, no matter how clever or capable, an early death would be no surprise. Yet, when a bandit attack orphans the two children, it's Zhu Chongba who dies. Desperate to survive, his sister steals his identity to enter a monastery. There, disguised as a male novice, Ju learns that she can be ruthless to avoid her fate. But when her sanctuary is destroyed, Ju is cast back into the war-torn world. To change her ending, there's only one thing she can do: claim her brother's great destiny as her own. You know what? And that is the most sibling thing I've ever fucking heard. It's just like, sorry, I mean no disrespect to you, but like, I need to live and you're already dead, so. That's the most sibling thing I've ever heard. Genuinely. Anyways, next book, we have another R.F. Kuang book, Babel. Now, this book, I read the first chapter. Again, I read the first chapter, loved it. And for as many times as I can, I've been trying to work this into like a readathon or something, but it just hasn't worked out. And I really don't think that this book would be fit for a readathon, because I feel like actually digesting this book would be good. So I think I may actually annotate this book, but I'm not totally certain. That may be a video that comes up. I'm not sure. However, I've been really excited to read this book. I read the first chapter. Again, it was really good. And I vibe with R.F. Kuang's writing style. So let me read to you this little blurb thing. You know? Okay. 1828. Robin Swift, orphaned by cholera in Canton, is brought to London by the mysterious Professor Lovell. There, Robin trains for years in Latin, Ancient Greek, and Chinese. In preparation for the day, he'll enroll in Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babel. The tower and its students are the world center for translation and, more importantly, magic. Silverworking, the art of manifesting the meaning lost in translation using enchanted silver bars, has made the British unparalleled in power, as the arcane craft serves the Empire's quest for colonization. For Robin, Oxford is a utopia dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. But knowledge obeys power, and as a Chinese boy raised in Britain, he realizes serving Babel means betraying his motherland. As his studies progress, Robin finds himself caught between Babel and the shadowy Hermes Society, an organization dedicated to stopping imperial expansion. When Britain pursues an unjust war with China over silver and opium, Robin must decide: can powerful institutions be changed from within, or does revolution always require violence? Now that is a deviation. So yeah, I'm really excited. Also, dark academia. Let's just move on. So, next book that I want to read, well, this is the next two books that I want to read. Priory of the Orange Tree, and also A Day of Fallen Night, but that's still on my shelf because I didn't want to hold it. So I've had these books for a while. I've had these books for a while. These are the Book and Binding editions, quite obviously. And I have the audiobook and the ebooks for both of these books. So I have pretty much no excuse to not read these books. I really don't. Genuinely, I don't. So like, yeah, this is probably going to be like maybe a readathon type thing, especially since I have the audiobooks, maybe. Probably not going to be a readathon. However, I'm going to film like an experience blog maybe in the summer of reading these books. But oh my god, I forgot how heavy this book is. But yeah, Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, if you couldn't tell. So yeah. Let me read to you the little blurb thing. A world divided, a queendom without an heir, an ancient enemy awakens. The house of Baron has ruled Innis for 1,000 years. Still unweds, Queen Sabrin IX must conceive a daughter to protect her realm from destruction. But assassins are creeping closer to her door. Iad Durian. Why do high fantasy names need to be so hard to pronounce? Oh my god. Iad Durian is an outsider at court. Though she has risen to the position of lady-in-waiting, she is loyal to a hidden society of mages. Iad keeps a watchful eye on Sabran, secretly protecting her with forbidden magic. Across the Dark Sea, Tane has trained to be a dragon rider since she was a child, but is forced to make a choice that could see her life unravel. Meanwhile, the divided East and West refuse to parley, and forces of chaos are rising from their sleep. Really exciting, honestly. But again, high fantasy, Why do high fantasy names need to be so hard to pronounce? My God. Lord. Okay. Anyway, but the stock is moving. Anyways, next we have the Diviners series by Libba Bray. So, again, this has been something that I really wanted to do to diversify my reading taste, because this is very occult, very like glitzy glammy New York. Those are the vibes I have been heard were given from this book. So yeah, I wanted to read it. Also, as someone who was originally from New York myself, yeah. But yeah, anyways, and amazingly enough, there isn't a description for this one because, you know, it's a royal hardback and there's nothing going on. Which honestly, I think I'm going to keep it that way. Sorry. I think I'm going to keep it that way because as much as I love reading descriptions, my knowing that this involves the occult and like is glitzy glammy New York is all I need to be interested. Also, these bookish box editions are just so good. So good, so good, so good. Wah! The stack is wobbly. All right, next. You've probably expected to see this. The Liar's Knot by M.A. Carrick. So I plan on finishing the, what fucking is it? The Mask of Mirror. No, this is called the Rook and Rose trilogy. I plan on finishing the series by next year. I plan on finishing the series next year. I don't know when next year I'll be finished with it, but I'll be finished with it because I love it. However, this book pushed me into such a reading slump because, like, I just think that reading 600-page books back to back just is not a good thing for me. I just really don't think it is. So I'm letting this book rest. I'm giving it time before I get back into it because I know I can finish this book in 2 days. Do I want to do that and push myself further into a reading slump? Probably not. So we're going to take our time with this. But just so you know, we're finishing this stuff. I'll give you a brief overview if you want to read this. God. We have a con artist, Ren, who has essentially tricked her way into a life of nobility and aristocracy within the city that she was born in. However, she's there for the money, but then she gets dragged into some drama, some rich people drama, and she's like, well, fuck. So now she's deeper into it. You know, it's really funny. It's really funny. I think it's hilarious personally, but you know, rich people drama is always really funny to me. And then the last series that I want to read, the last of it. Well, more finish. Throne of Glass. By the love of all that is holy, I need to finish this series so badly. I'm literally 3 books away from the ending. I'm so mad. I'm so upset. I'm so upset that I'm so close to the ending, but I just haven't gotten there yet. And you know why? Because I have no problem getting through the first 4 books. I have no problem going from this. I have no problem going from Assassin's Blade through Queen of Shadows. But no, every time I hit Empire of Storms, I freeze. I don't know why. I really don't. I don't. So, I bought the fucking audiobook. And we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Okay? This is probably gonna be a vlog. And we're gonna finish the series. You bet your damn buns. That was so aggressive. That was so unnecessarily aggressive. But like, I just need you to know, I need to finish this book. I need to finish this series. I'm so upset that I haven't. But anyways, guys, that brings this video to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more content from me, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified every time I post a new video. I post weekly on this channel, so don't miss out. Also, leave me comments down below what you want to see from me, what books I should put on my TBR, what books I should move on my TBR, your own book recommendations, or like what you're reading now or what you want. Just say hi in the comments. I always get really excited when I see comments from you guys. It makes me feel so happy and appreciated. Anyways, guys, I love my little Lumas. Bye!